He is born already ready to kill. No one teaches him to hunt. No one teaches him to swim. A great white shark's mother turns and swims away right after giving birth, and if her pup drifts too close, she may well mistake him for prey. The first hour of his life is the most dangerous one he will ever face. How does he survive it? A newborn great white shark enters the world already longer than a meter, bigger than a grown adult. He can already swim, already see, already sense another creature's heartbeat through the water using tiny pores on his snout, called the ampullae of Lorenzini, miniature sensors for electrical signals. For his first weeks he stays in shallow water, far from adults of his own kind, feeding on small fish and rays. He has to grow fast, because every large predator in the ocean, including older sharks, will not pass up an easy meal. Years go by. The pup stretches into a juvenile, the juvenile into a young shark about 3 meters long. His diet changes along with his body. Now he needs fat, plenty of it, which means it is time to hunt seals and sea lions. He learns to wait in the darkness beneath their colonies, then rise from below in one explosive burst. It does not always work. Missed attacks happen more often than successful ones, and after every failed strike new scars from claws and teeth are left on his skin. He has to be careful with his own body, too. A great white shark has no swim bladder, and if he stops moving even for a moment, he begins to sink. Without water flowing over his gills, he simply has nothing to breathe. Sleep, for him, is a slow glide, never a full stop. Does a predator like this ever get a moment of rest? Perhaps only at the peak of his life, somewhere around 10 to 15 years old, when his body stretches to 4 or 5 meters and his steel-gray back and white belly work together as perfect camouflage, invisible from above against the dark depths, invisible from below against the pale sky. In these years he sits at the top of the food chain, and almost nothing in his waters dares to challenge him. But even the top does not last forever. Years of hunting leave their mark, broken teeth, though new ones grow in to replace them within days, scars from past struggles, slower reflexes. Scientists who studied the vertebrae of great white sharks layer by layer, like the rings of a tree, found that some individuals live past 70 years, almost as long as a human. But the older the shark gets, the less often his hunts succeed, and the more energy simply goes into staying in motion. Sooner or later, his strength runs out. A weakened shark can no longer keep pace with prey, begins to starve, and one day can no longer sustain the movement his breathing depends on. He sinks down into the darkness, back to the place he once rose from for the very first hunt of his life. Through it all, if you look closely at the right moment, in the first second after birth, or in the middle of his riskiest chase for prey, you can catch his motionless gaze, aimed as if directly at the observer, as though for an instant he noticed someone watching him. He spent his whole life alone, with no one to protect him, with no room for error from the very first day.